Hey, this is Jason. Who do I have on the line?
Hey, this is Max. I'm a 15-year-old blogger, squealingrat.org and loneiguana.org, and I wonder if you have any advice for a budding blogger like me, maybe how you got started.
Okay, so you are a 15-year-old blogger.
That's right.
That makes you a freshman in high school, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you're a freshman in high school, and you're running blogs, and this blog is about an iguana?
No, actually, one is about technology. And the other, names can be deceiving sometimes. And the other is a new one that I just started like a week ago, and it's more about spies and cool tricks and other.
Okay, and so you want to make a business out of this blog, or you just want tips on how to get readers for your blog? What exactly is the question here, Max?
No, actually, I'm interested in what you would say to someone like me. What advice would you give? Maybe tell me that I should be guest blogging more, or anything like that.
Okay, so the first thing you need to do is quit school. This is my advice to everybody. So you're in freshman year of high school. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
do not quit school. Finish high school. At the very least, do 1 year of college. Do not quit school. Blogging is a great medium because it's unfiltered, and people with passion about a certain subject can talk directly to an audience without asking permission. You're 15 years old, and never before in the history of media did you have direct access to the entire world. This is a pretty cool thing. When I was growing up, 1985, we had BBSs, and there were like literally one person could be on the bulletin board system at a time. Imagine if on the internet, you went on the internet, and while you were on, I couldn't be on. Then I got on. Then when I got off, you got on, and then you read the messages I left for you. That's how bulletin board systems used to work back in the day, Max. How does that sound to you?
Oh, it sounds pretty funny, actually.
It's pretty insane, but that's how bulletin board systems used to work. We used to dial up with a modem that was 1,200 baud. You're on the internet with a terabit, or I don't know what you got a fiber optics line in there or something. Anyway, now you can talk to the entire world, which means you need to pick something you're passionate about that you can do better than anything else and that you enjoy. So just find something that you really enjoy writing about and focus on maybe one vertical. One of the big problems is people start a lot of blogs, and then they don't keep them up, and they don't ever become part of that certain verticals community. So if you were going to do a technology blog and it's just you're 15 years old, you're going to have a hard time competing with the other technology blogs out there like TechCrunch. Although TechCrunch, I think, does have a 16 or 17-year-old working there. How old is Daniel now?
That might be 17 now?
Maybe 17 now. Anyway, there are young bloggers, and it's good to have their perspective. I would pick some vertical in technology. What are you most passionate about inside of technology?
I'm not sure. I think more web services and things that you can do with the internet as opposed to gadgets or something.
Right. So you're into the web. You're into web services. So maybe, products like EC2 or stuff like that, cloud computing, or is it web services like Twitter and Facebook? What are you specifically into in web services?
More like discovering web services like Twitter and Facebook.
Okay. So here's my advice to you. Pick which area you like best and write reviews of that. So Twitter has probably one of the biggest ecosystems for applications and websites. iPhone has a lot of applications available for it. Droid is a new area. Droid might be one where, I don't know if you can get your parents to buy you a Droid phone, but you probably don't need them to because you'll probably make the money from AdSense and buy it yourself. But anyway, Droid is a very cool operating system. There's a lot of new apps coming out for it. Nobody's tracking it really. So if you became the person who actually reviewed every Droid application that came out, or a Droid application a day or two, it doesn't matter how old you are, you have a good opinion on it, that might be really valuable content. So find a vertical that you love, whether it's Twitter applications, whatever, and then do it better than anybody else. And the key thing is to have a really great domain name. You have to pick a good domain name. So how does that sound, Max?
Sounds all right. How did you get started? Tell me more about how you became a great internet name.
Oh, well, are you asking about internet fame or how I became like an entrepreneur? Those are two different things.
All right. How about just how you got started? What was your childhood like?
My childhood was terrible. No, I was a computer nerd, much like you sound like. When I was 15, I had more fun playing on my IBM PC Junior than I did playing stickball or something like that. I was what they call a nerd or a geek, but I was very proud of it. And I would spend hours on BBSs, programming BASIC or Pascal, and pirating software, doing phone phreaking and getting free phone codes off the Sprint network. I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff on my computer. And then what happened is people in my family knew I knew how to use computers, and I became the computer guy, the guy who knew computers. And then one summer, the medical center where my mom worked said they have a computer there, and they needed somebody to build a database. So I went and I built a database, and they paid me $10 an hour. So I was 15 years old making $10 an hour, which, by the way, in 1985 would be the equivalent of making $25 an hour. And then I had a lot of cash, which meant I could go on a lot of dates with girls and pay for the movies and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. But anyway, that's how I got my start. And then I wound up fixing laser printers, and then I wound up fixing computers and architecting stuff. So I was an IT guy, information technology. So I got paid to do computer stuff, and then I wound up being at the Sony Corporation when the internet happened. And so what I basically did was I used I leveraged all the computer knowledge I was learning to get job after job, and I left every job year after year, just trying to get to the next level. And then I got lucky that the internet happened, which was a big, big deal in 1993, 94, 95 when the internet appeared. You were only 0 years old at that time. But that moment in history was pretty amazing. That I can't believe we're talking about it like it's history, but nobody knew what the internet was, so we had to explain to them how to use a web browser. People didn't know what the back key did. People didn't understand what www meant. When you used to tell somebody a domain name to go to, they'd say go to http://, and if they didn't put that in, it didn't work.
No, I'd ask you what keyword on AOL it was.
Yeah, they'd ask you what keyword on AOL was. Anyway, it was so that's how I did. I basically I worked hard. I made my own luck, which is what you'll probably wind up doing while these other kids in your class are watching Twilight or some other bad movies. Mark, you have any advice for this guy?
So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay, is there a tech community there that you are plugged into?
There's actually something called Providence Geeks, which is like a meeting that happens every month that I've been to a couple times, actually, and walked around and met some pretty cool people.
Well, what I would say is if you want to, part of being online is also entrepreneuring offline. At least that's what I found. So when we were starting out, Jason and I were starting out in the early days of the internet, there was a thing called WAC. And there was like maybe 200 people. It was very small. But going out and promoting yourself and meeting a lot of people is a way to get people to read your blog and a way to get guests, people to help you out and give you new ideas, and also perhaps give you another forum in which you can syndicate your blog. So I would say plug yourself in, go out to these events, get to know people, collect cards, collect Twitter followers, etc., and build yourself up that way also.
Yeah, another good idea for you is I would go email some of these CEOs of companies and ask them to do email interviews. So like if you like TweetDeck or something, ask the CEO to do an interview with you. Like maybe you'll be able to start meeting some pretty famous people on the internet by just asking them to do a simple interview. And go to meetup.com, and that's Scott Heiferman, a friend of mine's company. And meetup.com has countless meetups that are technology based, and make sure you clear it with your mom or your dad or whoever has to drive you to these things. You don't want to go meet people on the internet that you never met before, but you may find a meetup where people are talking about technology and it's 100 people or 50 people. You don't want to go meet one person, obviously. Have your parents take you to one of those and you go meet some people like Mark's saying. Or you could host your own. If you can find the other nerds in your school, the other geeks, you can make your own little meetup and have your own. You should have your own internet meetup at your school. Go to meetup.com and start a group and make an internet meetup and have 10 guys get together, and gals. That might be a good way to pick up some girls, too. Girls like technology.
Yeah, it's hip to be a geek now. It wasn't always. It is now. Go ahead.
I think I've actually been pretty lucky with meeting people. A couple of summers ago, I met Leo Laporte for the first time.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. It's funny because he actually grew up in Providence, and being Providence and so small, we knew his sister. And then last summer, I got to hang out with David Pogue for like 3 hours, which was unbelievable.
Did he sing a show tune? Did he sing any show? Did he sing you a show tune?
Yeah, he did.
He did, really? Which one? Was it Oklahoma? What was it? Was it from Les Mis?
Oh no, it was one of his tech songs, but
he literally sung you one of his tech songs. Are you joking with Uncle Jason? Because this is pretty funny. What text song do you sing? Do you sing "You I Want My iPhone"?
I don't remember.
Was this like at an event? Did he take out his keyboard and then he actually played a song?
No, when I was 13, my mom got him to call me for my 13th birthday, which was another incredible experience. And then I emailed him for an internship, and he said, "Well, if you want to, you can come by and see the inner workings." And I took him up on the offer, and
wow.
Yeah.
So actually, David Pogue's a good guy. I give David Pogue 2 thumbs up for that and 1 thumbs down for singing show tunes. All right. Well, listen. You are 15 years old. You're light speed ahead of the other kids in your class. Those kids are going to wind up being garbage men. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But they're going to wind up being losers, and you're going to wind up being a rich entrepreneur doing internet stuff. You're probably going to have a jet. So I suggest that you get very focused on technology because you'll make a lot of money. And if you make a lot of money at a young age, life gets really good. But if you're screwing around with sports or this other stuff, like all your friends are going to think they're going to be in the NBA, they're not. Nobody from your high school probably made it to the NBA. One person from my high school made it to the NBA. Stay focused on technology. Do very good with that. And stay very, you seem like you're very curious, which is a good thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but you could do some sports. I'm not saying do no sports. Don't get overweight or anything like that.
Nah, I like basketball.
Me too. Right. What position do you play basketball? You point guard? Are you a shooting guard?
Oh, no, it's just pickup games.
Just pickup games. Okay. All right. Very good. And what team do you root for? I'm going to say Celtics, I bet.
Oh, I don't really follow that many sports, actually.
Okay.
But
all right, well, keep playing
basketball every once in a while.
Okay. Basketball is a good thing for you to do. You get good exercise with that. And stay in touch with the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Take care, Max. There you go.